Good afternoon and happy Good Fridays. I got my the report today. Of course, yeah, I got to that. Oh, yeah, today. Not keep away how we going to come at me this mission today at this point. So, what are they doing? What are they doing? So, it's not about human can. Okay. I have just ready to go. I mean, we are ready to do some communication. So let's see what we can. I have your city. Yeah, they are. Okay. So let me change strings. Let's see. So I don't know if there's a lot theories out there. What we can do is just figure out what we can. See what is going on now. Okay. Let's. Okay. Yeah, we can start now. Yeah, but let's go up the day. So we got one more days anyway. We can try to prove anyway. Okay, we can start. Hi, Dick. Um, okay. Are we ready to talk? Oh, yeah, on the day.
Does it change? Ah, okay.
Hi.
It's the pink one. Hi, Shadow. Yes. Okay. Hi, Shadow. Long time no see.
Okay. So we got talk about the overall bus ride.
Huh? Hey, hold on. Oh gosh.
Okay.
Indeed. How have you been, man? Have you been good?
Hmm.
Busy? Busy with work, I guess. A lot of shit to do. Hmm?
Wow.
Gonna be on TV. Are you allowed to say that?
What? On TV? Oh my god, that's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. National Day. Oh, no wonder.
Oh, it's coming up soon.
Hmm. Hiya. No wonder PAP want a GE so fast. SMH. SMH,
It's
my head.
already May, April, that's fast. That is, yesterday is like,
Yeah, lor, I remember 5 years ago,
timelines.
government say election is like what, October. I was like, walao. And now it's like, oh, I have to wait. It's like so fast already. Doesn't even feel like it was 5 years. Ay.
What is shit that is
Because
long?
because it's so weird because 5 years ago, but the election was after I turned 21. That's why I voted. Then now, 5 years later, I'm doing it again, but it doesn't feel like 5 years.
How many dishes are I?
Man. Okay, that's pretty decent. Okay, one last one. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Spices. Okay.
5 years, yeah. A lot has changed, and some things never change at all.
I think most of the time they change quite a lot.
I don't know. I feel like regardless of who is in power in Singapore, I feel like nothing much will change.
That's true, but we have a general election coming up soon as well.
Cause like the day to day, it's not like it's different for other countries, but I feel like in Singapore, like day to day life doesn't have much influence from government, which is how it should be lah.
Yeah, that's right. How Singapore.
Every time I think about it, I'm like, is it really that important?
We should be grateful for Singapore because we don't have like so much political issues.
I guess like I don't know. I just feel like, but at the same time, I also am happy that it's like we're not like majorly in trouble like other countries I can name. That start with A and end with also A. I don't know. I've taken the liberty of putting myself in a data bank just in case. Just in case we need some extra information. Like we have it in game, like ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm pulling up the slides. Their leader, that's not orange layer. That's not the one.
Yeah, just we need the slide actually.
Do you have it open?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to say about US lah. I mean, I don't know what to say, but at the same time, I feel like if I say, I won't stop talking about it for like the next 5-6 hours. So might as well talk about something else. Okay, so where do you want to start?
We can as much as we can.
Where do you want to start?
You can go first because I'm ready.
Let me think. So this is up to 3.2. I've only played up to I think like the first third of 3.1. But from what I see, nothing much happened. Like there's a few law drops. In 3.2.
I think there was some law drop in 3.2. But
I don't feel like I don't feel like I missed out on a lot.
But I don't just much better than you know whether it's correct or not.
A lot of my like ideas are also on like the previous planets, but we'll get to that. So a few things to note. So the Amber Era thing I think is pretty important. So the equivalent basically Amber Eras are dictated by each strike of Clifford's hammer. So each strike marks the start and end of an Amber Era. So, and because it's uneven, each Amber Era is an uneven number of years. Like it's never the same amount, which just seems like a
There's
bad
problem
calendar
is
system.
that
Like
we
I'm
don't
just
know
gonna be
what is that a
honest,
certain amount.
because saying 4 Amber Eras ago could be up to almost
Could be
1,000 years or only 200 years, which is very
yeah.
a bit unstable. But I mean, IPC say need to follow Amber Era,
Probably
so that's what we follow lah.
something.
And so the Astro Express returned to its rails and started exploring the universe in 2157. And also I think the end of the reign of Rupert the First is also
But the
marked.
people that we need to know what is happening before Empire Era actually based on our theory rise.
Wait,
I
let
think
me
they
open
are
up my
trying
game.
to
Let me see. Is there did they mention
cut the curve of yeah, I think it was in the segregated universe. So I need to go. It showed that you have to go to segregated universe. This is what apparently the umbrellas.
Man, it doesn't say when
Let me see.
Rupert the First's reign came to an end. It says countless Amber Eras, but like, man, Also, interestingly, it says the IPC's fear of inorganic beings has failed to relent even to this day, but from what we can gather, Pearl, which is one of the 10 stone hearts, may be an Intellitron.
The ICB actually tried to hide that information. How they actually start.
Let's go. I know like zero law. It's okay,
This is
Risa.
a good question, you know.
We will try to.
Okay, Risa. Okay.
Yeah, we try not to like be too. Okay lah. I mean, we can kind of start at the beginning lah. So, HSR is a alternate timeline. It's a different universe. It's similar to like in the comics like Marvel or DC, where they talk about alternate universes where some things are the same, some things are different. So there are very tenuous connections between Impact and Star Rail.
Similar in Submarine as well.
Yeah, like we have some repeating characters, some characters who change names, but they're still still similar people. A good example of that is we have Walt Yang, who is also the same person. Well, similar, like 90% similar to his character in Honkai Impact. And he seems, at least based on his story, seems to have the same experiences as in Honkai Impact. But obviously, he is very uncomfortable to talk about that, so we don't know much about it. But what we do know is he comes from. Is it a version of Earth? It's a version of Earth, right?
Honkai Impact. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, because like even Honkai Impact itself is also not based on Earth. It's like a very established like interstellar travel.
One of the parallel timelines is that the web actually came from the his how to say it's actually become part of it.
So there's also
The other
possible
problem is right there's
Genshin
the
Impact.
stellar travels, the H system is gonna be right different as well.
But you put possible Genshin Impact connections. I guess that's just
Yes. You can be about it right.
I don't think there is. I don't feel like there's much influence
Yeah, but there's not
on.
much connection. But it's put me
Yeah.
because you know if Kashi Impact when you have a opening screen right when you go into Kashi Impact, there's the train track on the halfway. It could be that Astra Express actually fits that base as well. But it's not
I don't know.
always
I don't know
high.
if they ever want to confirm that though. I feel like
It could be there
they almost
though.
wanted to treat Genshin the same way they treated Zenless. I think that's why they kept stressing the fact that Zenless is just not connected to the Honkai verse
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
not.
They wanted to do the same with Genshin, but they never got around to saying that. Because then we got like
That's
Raiden, who is similar to Raiden Mei from Honkai Impact. And then we have Acheron in HSR, and all three women are all pretty much the same character, just with different backstories, but their personality is the same.
Yeah, the person is same.
Yeah. I think also Genshin, like if there is a connection between Genshin and Honkai, I think it's not just that
It's
they
not a
are the
lot, but
same universe, but like they are different time
it's
periods
just
as
that
well.
they are
Like
different universe. So the chances of connecting to Honda Impact is very low as well.
Hmm. Like I suspect that if they were to confirm that Genshin Impact is a similar universe to Honkai, it's almost like a prequel. Like you know in Star Wars when they say a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but it's like we're still in the same universe. So like Genshin Impact is the same, just
It could
it's a
be
very,
that
very long
timeline is
time
going to be
ago.
different as well.
Yeah, because there's no connection between Teyvat and Honkai Impact, but Honkai Impact has been described as like
Yeah.
very futuristic. It's like even Astro Express, right? When Astro Express finally regained, like was repaired and then finally started traveling the universe again, it's like 2000 plus years after the start of, you know, like I think it's
It's
like at
quite a
the end
long
of
time
the
as
Eon
well.
War. And it's like maybe that's like the cataclysmic event, you know, that ended Genshin and then started
Yeah.
Honkai, you know, it's like that kind of thing. So
I think
if
it's
they want to
much
confirm
better,
that,
but it's
yes.
got me like parallel events.
Like we also have I'm trying to think who else is in Honkai Impact that we have.
If we are talking about the character
I feel like
that
there's
appear, there's quite a few of them actually.
there's Silver Wolf, huh? Silver Wolf is
Quite a
also
lot, quite a lot.
Silver
Yeah,
Wolf is our was it Velina stand-in?
we have
Uh
Bruna as well.
yeah,
Bruna's,
Bronya and Sele. Like Sele is Sele is
Bruna
also
is
one of
also
the characters that
quite.
are like similar to a character in Honkai Impact. Do we have anybody else? I think
Bruna
that's it.
and I think Bruna as well.
Oh, Luocha as well. Yeah. Luocha is similar to Otto from Honkai Impact.
Rocha as well. I think Rocha is like similar.
Mm. So um yeah, let's I think
Just
yeah
a
lah.
lot
So
like parallel, but not really parallel, but it's like similar with other
and I think
characters. It's just
there
like
is a nice
the story
connection
has changed
between
because it's
art.
different universe and that's the
I think there's a nice parallel between the paths in Honkai. Not say the
Yeah,
element in Genshin, but more like
not
the
that anime, but
kind of like the different regions. I think like each one has their
yeah,
own inspired design, like how the elements each have like or the nations rather each have their own like title. So like um yeah, you have the nation of war, you have like the nation of
not
justice, the
that.
nation of freedom. It almost feels like each
Yeah, it's fine.
nation is itself a
Hey, it's just doing it
path.
actually.
Yeah, it's like the ideal that they aspire towards, or like the thing that ties they're all like the disparate places in that nation together. It's a bit like the path, but instead of spanning just a country, it spans the universe.
But it's just that it's just.
I don't know.
But
That just came into
it's
my head. Possible connections,
like
but
I
like
see,
that's
it's
a bit
like it
tenuous. I don't
the
know.
animal is related to the path and the not really related. It's like how they want to have because the main is the animal is the bingham and the fire is the pearl is the passion of stuff. So there's some similarity as well.
Mm, maybe.
Okay, it's too much information here. Okay,
Yeah.
let's stick
Okay.
on that.
So I think we just move on. So now
Yeah.
we talk about the idea. So now we talk about eons. There is an so eons are basically gods. Uh, can you call them gods?
No,
Because
I
they
don't think
use
it's, we
words like
can call them
eonhood.
God, but in sense they are God, but not exactly God as well.
Mm, because like I can think of a few examples of eons
We
being
can
not gods.
not the thing
And
is
in
that, and one is that that's really insane and if you based on Christianity people's stuff, but it's not really exactly God, but it's close to the being God actually. Because you need
mm,
to do something to assign to become iron spoon, yeah.
that's true. Okay, that's true. You're like we have examples. We have like Lan, who was just a regular person, a regular living being, who over the
Yeah.
course of the hunt pursuing or the Xianzuo pursuing the Sanctus Medicus, eventually ascended to Eonhood and became the Eon of the Hunt. Like it's not very clear as to how eons are chosen.
Is that how long we have to do the order to achieve that?
Like with the limited, so like I'm looking at the data bank, the entry in eons. It's like they people know very little about the
Yeah.
mysterious existence that dwells in the vast stellar seas. So, with the limitation of knowledge, intelligent life forms can only faintly discern that eons tread upon paths imperceptible to mortal beings. So, it's like humans or
I
like living beings can become eons. It's just very difficult to do so.
I saw you have to keep doing like same path for a longer period of time. You
Yeah.
know, instead the people are actually circumstantially die. I could so they can be next one as well. But I don't think it's right that possible because it's very hard to become part of the
Mm.
Cocoon.
Like, it is interesting that really. they don't really explain how the eons came into power, but at the same time, I kind of want to know because like
Same,
it's not
same.
clear, it's not obvious. Like that, like can you like is it possible to start a new path that is like completely different, or would you just eventually merge like? Did a lot of different paths
This
used to
is like a
exist, a lot of
question
different
because
eons.
we don't know how they become ion, but we can assume that through some aberration they become right that we can possible it's quite possible to create new path that is not actually one of those mentioned path.
Mm.
But
I
it's
guess it will
like
be
how to
similar to
say
like
you need to do
um
something that is correlated with any verse of a story. So it's
I
like
think
a lot
it might end up
stuff,
like
copyrighted stuff.
between in Penacony, like what happened to Anna and Zipe. I feel like if a path were to be started, I feel like it would just be absorbed by the path that they are most closely associated to. I feel like if it's not strong enough. But then again, how do you quantify the strength of a path or its eon? I guess through its followers.
Yeah. Just like cuts. That's not you. That's not you create the so-called new part. It encourages someone to feel the specific part that you
Mm.
get thing, some belief that it can become alone. But it could be possible. But I think this is how they become alone as well.
Okay, so I think eons are still a big part of a lot of the theories that we have, especially coming up. So we can
Yeah.
cover. No, we can now
We can see
cover
that we
the
can cover it too.
yeah the Astro Express. So the question is, okay, let me go over to the factions, Extra Express.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember if I think they did explain a little bit at the end of Penacony, like that the founders of Penacony.
But it's only part of the divided society. The other to repopulate not really if we change the path, the balance only, but they still have like so many people in the aspect.
Mhm.
Somehow they actually like disappear.
Yeah.
So it become
Um.
like nothing.
Yeah, they didn't really specify. I mean, maybe it's because they want to save
Because
that
if you
reveal.
got the band right, instead the experts put belly on people be like a son and had no choice to run about whether become overly upset. So it has to do with Sarah as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happened to the table? That is why they should do that the trend.
So it was the Stellarons that caused the
Yes.
rails to.
Why about the person inside?
I'm really curious as to how like the interstellar travel does it describe how the interstellar travel
I think they
works?
finish mention Ban Bum Bum during the story. Instead, they sort of use the views. I don't know how they get the views as well.
Yeah, they say it's like trailblaze power, but like what does that mean? Like what is trailblaze power? Like it's not really clear, but like I think it was prior to Penacony, we wanted to head to uh at first we wanted to head to Amphorius, wasn't it? But then we ran out of Trailblaze fuel, so we had to take a pit stop. I think we wanted to go to Lushanka, and then we had to stop by Amphorius or something like that. I don't quite remember, but we had to like stop to refuel.
Yes, we had to stop. That day trip
Yeah.
is probably is something you need to do. Go on the adventure in our base in order to get some fuel. But how that will, I don't know how that will.
I think
But
maybe
it's just
the
that
fuel is like
it's
uh
very
like the whole idea of the Trailblaze is that the Trailblaze is like helping selflessly. So maybe solving people's problems or like making people happy is the fuel. I don't know. I feel like
I don't think he could be more upbeat. Because
cause like the cancer of all worlds, which are the Stellarons, right? They are the ones that cause the rails to be destroyed. So by
yes.
removing the Stellaron, maybe it produces Trailblaze power.
But the problem is if we go to some base with the server, but they did not completely remove the server, it still can run. This is what have the but
Hmm.
they really to do something to other to get the field.
Hmm.
Unless it's the power of chirping.
Hmm. Okay, so you put here Pom Pom and March 7.
Okay.
Like what do you mean by putting
Yeah, the
March 7
bomb
and
is
Pom
also
Pom?
one character of the Extra Express, right? But the Mark 7 it was found by the Himiko and the damn right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, how the best because the match was actually found and was named by Mark 7. Yeah. So how they actually found her, but even though they are traveling in star travel by the studio space, they have to get how they get the Mark 7 it's, because it crystallized in eyes.
That's a good point there. I don't think.
So
Let me see. Did they talk about it?
Bomb Rice it's also character, but it's the we don't know much about the bomb. Because how the bomb actually came to me.
Actually, that's a good point. How did they know where to find March 7? But I think I don't I did they talk about it in the trailer? I don't remember
Yes,
if March 7
that's right.
trailer was talking about it, or were they being like suspiciously coy about it? Uh,
But
let's see. And then you put Dan Heng as well. You put Dan Heng as in like talking
okay,
about.
golden hand. I have a question mark. Because Dunhead is pretty self-aspirated, but not fully covered because even though Dunhead is the best life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this Time time is also about extra space, but there are two different forms
Uh-huh.
because he has the he can wait, I mean I why he's just even though he ran away, but I first he ran away, but he's just become the extra, but he's actually like how's the sit with the other players and stuff. But there's question mark.
Hmm. Let me see if the Imbibitor
Well, the
Lune.
Dunham is not fully metal. Oh yeah, speaking of Dunham, he got to have another path as well, but
Is that confirmed?
it's in how Dunham actually did some. Because Dunham has a previous previous life, who is called Dunham. But the Dunham actually like did some crime, but the crime is that it do something the how about now see this what actually why did it do horse horse to become the jail is become a crime criminal.
What he seeks.
Yes.
I don't know. I wish we learned more about the High Club Quintet. I feel like
Yeah, they have so
the
many
central
things need to
story was
explain.
just so much about like they're talking about the hunt, the hunt, the hunt. I'm like, okay, but like
Yeah, why they
I
need
want
to
to know
hide all
more about
the ominous peoples.
yeah, I want to learn more about, you know, the other Central Alliance members, like their
Yeah,
generals and
I
whatnot.
think there's
And
gonna be
yeah, we
next
got some
side
of
of
it.
the
It's like yeah, we got some of it with Face Shell, but like it's like I was thinking, I was like, I'm sure they have more ideas on the Xianzhuo that they wanted to explore, but it's like they had needed to just go through the story as fast as possible. But it just ended
yeah.
up being just a lot of talking about, you know, trying to solve the Stellaron issue, and I like a lot of people have complained that the central storyline was like the most boring because it was so long and
In my opinion,
pretty much nothing
yes.
nothing gets
It
done by
doesn't
the end.
explain
Like
why they
yeah,
actually put up and why do why they need to pay price or something.
okay, let's see. We can go on to the first place. So Herta Space Station. So that is the first place we find ourselves in. We get the cutscene of
Yeah.
Kafka putting the Stellaron in our body, us waking up, getting the baseball bat, and then needing to defeat the the Annihilation Gang.
Nobody
What
had
they
into that,
call
but
uh, the,
Yeah,
antimatter legion. That's what they're called. Yes.
just the
Um,
like
yeah. The destruction. We have to fight the giant dragon. Um, uh, there's not much theory. I mean, it's like the start of the game, so like there's not much
not much.
to discuss. But we did get some unique insight into
Yeah,
Herta's kind
Shaun
of,
the Sadi.
yeah, with the simulated universe. And I think um in metaphysics
But
there's the
Hata
idea that
and
our universe is a simulated one. Like even the universe that we in real life exist in is
yes,
simulated. Um, because of scientists' projection on computer power will only improve, and so eventually will create, like, games are getting more and more sophisticated and more lifelike, and the NPCs in them seeming acting like humans. So the question then becomes, do the NPCs in games know that they're NPCs, or do they think they're human? And so the question then also becomes, are we
this is
NPCs in the game that we're
are
just
we
living an
actually
existence inside
inside
a
the
simulated
simulated
universe?
universe?
Yeah, and the idea
This is
is
actually a
be-
question. You want to behind this? How am I going to do it simulated universe? Who is the control about?
like the whole idea of the Herta basically using the simulated universe as kind of a mini experiment. Like to her, the simulated universe is like such a small
Mm,
thing, but to like people like when I first heard about it, it was like simulated universe is like going back to the idea of um if you can simulate even a city, a planet, uh it will be so easy to simulate a universe because you just multiply everything by millions, billions, maybe even trillions. It's like, how would you know that it's any different from like what somebody else would have done to you as well? And having
um,
Runmei on that spaceship as well is like we have to
yeah,
fight the resurrected, not quite failed test subject of the eon of propagation.
this
um
is was
like the whole idea is
nothing
that you can
why women
revive
may
an
want
eon.
to recreate the population. This that is entirely impossible, but I feel that she wants to do something so in a way she can extend to become it alone or whatever she.
Mm. So yeah lah, I mean, not much to speculate. Just off the first kind of first location that we traveled to, where we started. So I think not much other than the genius society being just a bunch of nerds all hanging
Oh
around
yeah,
seeing who can
there's
come up with the
also
stupidest ideas to
simulated
test
verse.
on.
There's some character that will appear inside. There was
Mm.
some character that appear inside simulated verse, which called Sub and another one is called what's her name? She tried to see whether we can call that the error for whatever reason. I don't know why it's just for people call that to communicate why they become like this or whatever is simulating any bus to
Mm-hmm.
find out the mystery of the error.
Mm. What about you? What are your thoughts on the simulated universe?
For me, I feel like But is it something they want to contact the where we have to make them test experiment back up the testing. So because we have the higher chance to contact compared to them, but except that the equipment is more to its cover, especially the communication. If they want to really communicate the other, this is the way to go in sense.
I still find it weird that the Herta wants to communicate with Eons, but like she's already received an audience with Naus once before when she became an
Yes,
emanator
sure.
of the erudition. I guess she just wants to study the other Eons and figure out like what their power, like how strong they are, and like talk to. I don't know for what reason.
Sure to know more about then how they got this mystery world. Usually insurance societies are those they want to find those answers the way to solve the mystery as much as they can. But the problem is the IPC as well. Because the IPC, they actually try to hide the information of Olipop. So they can really can navigate enough. So that's why they can develop the simulate universe in order to do it in a way where IPC cannot obstruct them. Yes. This is what I think of.
Okay.
This is my
Um,
theory.
I don't know. I think it still might be too
But it's just
early.
a
I
theory
feel like that's
though.
weird because like HSR has been out for 2 years already. And it's like still saying it's like we don't know too much about like the Genius Society, which is true. Like we only know
Yeah.
the names
It's
of
just
like 5 members,
majority.
and we only know like maybe 2 or 3 other members not named, but we know what they have done, and like it is still like the one group that is under an Eon that we know a lot about, and we still don't know what they do. Like, okay, don't say that. Like, we know what they do, but we don't know like all of their true motives, which I think we'll never know because there's like 100 plus members in the Genius Society. But like, it makes sense, right?
I
Because
think there are
erudition is
some
all about
fashion
knowledge.
in this society. So the motive is for me what different from one another.
Okay, let's see. Let's move on. So like, nothing much to talk about Herta Space Station. I guess like really, but because like a lot of it has been discussed, but there's still like some questions left here and there. So after
we need to wait
after
for when we can compare to the session to furthermore when the new update. So I think we can skip at that for now.
Okay.
Because it's nothing much to know about Herta Space Station.
Yeah. So after we defeat the Antimatter Legion on the Herta Space Station and we decide to join the Astral Express, we head to our first planet to get to the Cancer of all worlds in Eurylo 4, which is part of the Eurylo star system. So there's 4, 5, and 6. So we land on 4, which is an entire planet that is covered in a snowstorm. So the eternal winter or the eternal frost is a result of the stellaron that is within the planet. Um, and Cleafoff, the Eon of Preservation, gave their blessing to the original builders of the Eurylo city to protect, to preserve humanity on that planet. But when we arrive, there's been a few complications. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, okay lah. As their first official like planet, talking about stellarons and whatnot, I feel like it's pretty clear cut. It's pretty simple. I guess. Or not. Is it
Yeah, it's
this
pretty
one?
simple to not talk about, but that is several what caused the to become what they become this way, but he commit brainwashing or something. But aside from that, that's pretty much resolved every in the
Yeah. So as you can see, the related entries lah under Eurolo,
yes.
is the architects who were under the preservation and built the city to protect the people inside. So, but they were stopped by the Stellaron, basically. Um, okay, so I put 3 characters in particular. So I put Sele first, going back to the discussion we had with the connection between
Mm-hmm.
HSR and Honkai Impact. Because Sele looks very familiar and her burst animation is reminiscent of another character from HI, who also has, the same hair, the same eyes, and who also transforms into a different
Yeah.
form when they are using their
Yeah,
powers.
that was
The only
similar.
thing that's
I
different,
thought it was her somehow.
yeah, the only thing different is the weapon that they use, and that's why I put Sampo in there. So, it's described in Sele's story quest that Sampo was the one who actually got the scythe weapon. Sampo would not tell us where. He says he can't tell us. But he said that he knew that Sele would be the protector
Yeah.
of Belobog, and so he wanted to get her a weapon that was fitting for her. And so she has a scythe weapon. My question has always been where did Sampo get such a weapon? Because that weapon is able to basically break the known laws of physics and allow Sele to travel at pretty much light speed. Um, and she can travel faster than a speeding bullet. She can do multiple slashes at the same time, and leave after images of herself. She can turn invisible, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
abilities that no mere mortal should be able to do, but yet the weapon allows her to do it. So I'm like, where did Sampo
He
get
told
it?
me
And we've
that some actually met another Senate or some listener that she can because how he could know that Senate actually can use the weapons.
mhm,
Plus the weapon was why it's just because I'm so curious how you get this weapon, especially if you do Star Travels. This tells us that you can meet the person who look exactly similar to the one same person
mhm,
that in your so-called world. So,
uh-huh,
so that somehow, but you need to somehow acquire those weapon and bring it back and give it to her. But
mhm,
this only thing is that Because Joe actually goes up the stellar travels for whatever reason. So how
Mm.
does Sampo actually travel in and out of the planet when he was spinning close up from the stellar travels?
I mean, he is a bandit. He's one of the mass
Yeah,
fools. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some like black market way of getting in and out of planets.
yeah, but
I mean, we were surprised to see him in Penacony, despite him saying that he would want to stay on Yorillo to help with the reconstruction of Belobog. So I don't know.
this is Sampo is the most mystery man, even though she's the mass bill.
Mm-mm. I think Sampo is more uh has more like to his lore and character than we know. And being a 4-star, that's saying a lot because a lot of 4-stars don't really get a lot of attention. And him being the first
Yeah,
person we meet on
he put me
Belobog,
on purpose as
and
well.
yeah, and someone that we see what 2 planets later on Penacony, just suddenly
Yeah,
reappearing out of nowhere for pretty much no reason, other than the fact that Sparkle is there. I think says a lot
he
about
is.
what they plan to do with Sampo in the future, and also
Yeah,
their
he's.
kind of plan to involve the mass fools a lot more. So yeah, I mean, we also got like the Pokemon
I'm looking for
event with
how the
Giovanni,
mass
Giovanni
bill.
himself
Oh,
being a
going to
mass fool
happen.
as well, and Sampo knowing Giovanni. So there's a lot more to the mass fools and the Eonic Relation. I
Yes.
think we definitely will be
Haha,
learning
he's
more
gonna
about
be
soon.
the one of the other day. Of course,
What do you think? What do you think about the mass fools?
the one I spent my some choices the mass bill. But the mass bill is very interesting because they use a lot pretty the pop things that the names of us. So,
Mm.
but they should have something cooking up. But we don't know what is going to happen in futures down in the story.
Mm, mm.
This is
Okay, so I put Clara there as kind of a joke. Um, it's less about Clara and more about Svarog because
oh
it was very interesting, like like the entire story of Belobog, like for the most part, when we went to seek for Svarog's help for the underground,
yeah
Svarog was like very adamant, very determined to say, Belobog will fall. There is no hope for for humans. Like Eurillo 6 is doomed, blah blah blah, this and that. But it was only after we saved it, then he said, I knew you could do it. And I'm like, was he lying? Like, or did
yeah
he realize that we were a Stellaron ourselves and that we could actually like um cure Eurillo of the cancer? Or like, is it just he made a mistake? Because he himself said that he doesn't make mistakes. His calculations are always correct. Um, but a
mm,
robot like him
I
having
feel
the
like
ability to not only lie but like
this
be wrong
he
and
always have a lot of
apologize,
comparison
it
stuff.
it smells suspiciously like Rupert. I know that's kind of crazy to say, but Rupert himself was
Oh
also a
yeah
discarded
yeah.
machine that suddenly gained sentience and could think for itself.
But it's actually also similar to Star.
So like I I
I
I I I I, I think maybe
currently actually
um
no, I think it's possible that it's the possible that this is possible that the calculation have he might have think a lot of different say, but he just to beat the worst possible scenario to tell us in order to overcome that worst scenario so we can help save the show.
Mm, mm. I don't know, like I just feel like it's very
Yeah, but it's
suspicious
like,
that the whole time Svarog was like, you know, I suspect that I'm not even suspect, like I've calculated the odds
yeah.
and I know you're not gonna make it. And
But
I'm like, huh? I know like like a bit of storytelling is needed lah to like be like there's that one person who's like very adamant that you can't do it, and then when you finally do it, there's I believed in him all along. But to make it a robot that claims for himself itself that it doesn't make mistakes and that your calculate like its calculations are always correct and that everything else so far that has happened he has guessed it correctly, to then suddenly him admitting
yeah.
that he was wrong and that he
I
knew that we
think
could do it all along, it's like
Sarah is the one to apologize.
yeah,
I mean, they
it's a
don't
bit
know how to
suspicious.
apologize. But it's very
Yeah,
suspicious as well.
but I do we get more? No, they just said, you know, Svarog is a robot, he can be wrong, I guess. I don't know, they never really
Yeah.
talk about it, but I don't know. That's just me in particular lah. So I think
No, me
only
too, me too.
there's nothing much to discuss for
It
Yurillo.
is,
I think the bulk
yeah.
of the story is on Xianzhuo. So we quickly move on lah. So we defeat
Yes.
we defeat the Stellaron, we cure the planet, the Eternal Winter leaves, and then the people of Belobog start rebuilding Yurillo, blah blah. So we decide to move on to our next location, which we were called to go by Kafka. So in order to rescue, quote
Yeah.
unquote, rescue Blade, turns out it was just a
So,
ploy to get us to go to Xianzhuo because we didn't have a reason to go to Xianzhuo originally. But it was like, oh,
yeah.
like guys, like Trailblazer, I need you to help me save Blade. Then
What?
like the
They
cutscene
don't
with the
need some
umbrella, and then
help.
she's walking around in the car of the Astro Express. Himiko is very suspicious of her. Welt is also very suspicious of
Yeah.
her. But we decide to go. We get separated from the rest of the group, and then Dan Heng arrives on the Xianzhuo by himself,
Yes.
and then meets up with Luo Cha, and we learn more about Lota and more about the eons of hunt and abundance. So for the Xianzhuo, two um there's two eons that are contesting, which is land, which is of the hunt. I didn't write it down, but there's also Yao Shi, who's the eon of abundance. So they are
Yeah.
opposite ends
But
because
yeah,
abundance
so
wants
for
life
these
everywhere,
two,
eternal life
I
everywhere.
don't understand.
Um, and the hunt wants to kill. It's only inspired by the hunt, to hunt down enemies it deems necessary, and one of them is the abundance because if there's only abundance, there's no predators, there's no hunt. So that's why they're at odds. I think there's a bit more than that, but I think that's like the general gist. Um, where is the eons?
Actually, speaking of the national right, yeah, was like with each other with Nam and NLC, it's just like so because
Mm.
most people but then they kind of want to have a donor life. You want to live as long as you can. It's not immorality, but the hand is that to stop those higher people who want to achieve immorality. Because there's no point of that. But I feel like they are trying to like balance out in sense because You know the bars that markers in those place
Mm-hmm.
where you cannot have
Mm.
exactly a shape that they may want to have in reality life.
Mm-hmm.
So just has I'm gonna ask Missy what I didn't know I actually can because they are like decent or
Where is my where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, uh so the characters that I mentioned that we should keep an eye on lah. So there's a few lah. So there's Jingyuan Fei Xiao. So they are the two generals of the two out of the five um clans or like groups in
yeah.
the Xianzhuo alliance. I also put Fu Xuan up there, mainly due to her prescience. Her the third eye that she has is a gift from
Yeah, she can like
what what eon is it?
forget.
Was it the
Yeah,
uh oh crap, I don't
no
remember what
guess. Yeah,
is it?
no that's that is no it's no it's yeah no that's yeah
Yeah, Naus. Okay, yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, it's Naus. Yeah. So she sacrificed basically her
because
body uh to basically be the great
somewhere
diviner, and she's able to see in not the future, but she's able to
I
see
answer
possibilities, choices that people will make, and tries to make the right choice. Tries to get other people to make the right choice to lead to the best outcome for the Xianzhuo. So the ambrosial arbor is the kind of the tree of abundance that the abundance or the disciples of Sanctus Medicus
yeah
used to basically spread the curse of immortality to every living being to propagate. I'm not talking about
has on
propagation,
reality
to
then
basically spread immortality, to spread the message of
oh
to spread the message of
yeah that's true
abundance
that's
across the universe. And so the whole story of the Central Lofu is that after Lan used his power to kill a bunch of the immortal, quote unquote, immortal Sanctus Medicus, the Ambrosia Arbor was put into kind of a coma state. The tree was inactive, and then they kept an eye on it. So they kept it on the Xianzhuo as they moved throughout the galaxy to continue to hunt. The Stellaron was eventually put inside the Ambrosia Arbor, and it restarted the Ambrosia Arbor in order to protect it and try to bring about destruction. Fantilia, who is one of the lieutenants of the Antimatter Legion, tried to stop us. We stopped her, and then Jingyuan used his strongest attack. I don't know if that's his strongest attack. It seems
yeah
like it's his strongest attack to defeat Fantilia or at most cause her immense damage. And then she left. We cleared the Stellaron and then we shut down the Ambrosia Arbor. I think one of the more interesting things about it is that you can turn off something that pretty much continues to give life. Like, I guess not turn off, but like suppress, I guess. Like if it continues
someone
growing, you keep
said
cutting the branches of the tree. You basically keep it at bay so it doesn't keep growing. Yeah lah. That's the kind of very brief discussion of the story that I don't know took us like what 4 patches to finish. My goodness.
just write a long patch but I feel like I'm better said the Sarah is really happy with it. because the cell is the cancer of the satellite, it can help
Mm.
to kind of stop the curve of the emperors. But it's that to prevent it's actually like balance the other the culture this curve of the trees. But I feel like this not that we cannot like it's from this cell or this. But yeah, it's right now. So, but yeah, it's also it's right. How to I say she have a ability to see and different what could have happened at the start. But it's
Mm.
high price, exchange.
Mm. Okay lah. I put 火火 to kind of link to the abundance a little bit. Because from
Mm,
what we learned in
yeah.
火火's event when we were dealing with the heliobi and specifically with um Mr. Tail, but it almost seems like
Oh yeah.
um there's nothing
Oh
controlling or
gosh.
like all the heliobi are all like elemental energy or like elemental like spirits, for lack
You
of a better
said they
word.
are like
But they
yeah.
don't seem to possess any um like they're not falling
But
apart.
it's like ghost, but not actually ghost.
Yeah, like it's not like the antimatter legion or like the creatures of abundance or the I don't know. There's not many examples, but like it seems like the
Mm,
heliobi are just condensed magical energy. They just
yeah,
take the
that's right.
form of heliobi. But they have the power to possess people, which is like
Mm,
if they're not guided by an eon, they are like the strongest non-eon creatures in the known universe. It's like and
yeah.
it's very difficult to get rid of them. Like at the end of the event, the ghost hunting event, it took well, it didn't really take much, but like it took Jing Yuan like quite a considerable amount of effort to suppress the strongest heliobi. And he himself is already really strong. He is a contender for being an emanator of the hunt. Um
Yeah.
and even still he didn't struggle, but like it was clear that he needed to use some effort in order to suppress the big heliobi at the end, Cirrus. um and also the fact that you can't kill a heliobi, because like in the event story, Mr. Tail sacrifices, quote unquote sacrifices himself, disappears and then comes back at the end of the story. So I'm like,
Mm,
if they can't die, then are they linked to like the abundance? Like, are they like what do they like? Are they just spirits that just
mm,
hang around for not no good reason lah? But like it's not really fully explained. So I'm actually quite curious to the heliobi.
mm-hmm. Okay, the help us right, in my opinion, right, in my theory,
Mm,
right, they are actually have into the MLS because
mm,
they cannot like exactly die in sense, right?
mm, mm,
So because they are actually like ghosts, but not really like ghosts.
mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's that you say about energy, so it's that it's always so for me it's possible that they have a questions that in order to find a purpose. So
Mm,
therefore it's quite almost into the aminos.
mm, mm.
So but I
Okay,
put
I see
me
what you
on
mean.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, it's not like confirmed. Um, Wait, did you write Lota or did I write Lota?
Such a you know the one I saw first saw him, man.
Ah,
I thought he was the first sheep. It's the people. It's with the conduct and pet ducks, right?
right.
But he still having his daddy to become like because his name I think was named by his son. Such
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
So we don't know what is the actual name actually. So we want to but the coffee they carry within my there is a coffee. What is kind of
Mm-hmm.
inside as well.
Oh, the theory is that it's a portion of the eon of propagation.
Yeah, it's the same day I was to receive, but why for the purpose? What's the purpose for that? It's
Mm.
open to just a lot of
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I don't have him lah, but um, I
okay.
feel like the theory about him carrying around a piece of the propagation is true. Like we don't need to know who is this friend that he is, carrying on his quest to bring the coffin, because he doesn't say where he's bringing the coffin to.
Mm.
He doesn't say who his friend
Yeah,
is.
he
He
went
doesn't say
to
what's
the
inside it.
Bison
So like,
the
and not only that, but like, okay lah, elements
what
don't
to
really play a
say
big
that
part into
he
the.
also was same curse that pop this Congo, but it got me from another any birthday. The way it's not very good, but different, so it's right similar. So
Mm,
the way I think we otherwise knows he because it's similar to it's homo, so
mm.
but it
I don't
doesn't
know.
appear
I
a
just
lot,
feel like
right?
they wanted to create some intrigue, some theory material, but so far we don't really have too much on Lota to make an accurate statement, or even
Yeah,
pretty like solid guesses as to
you can
what his
really
purpose is,
focus,
or
but
even what's inside the coffin, because like it's all
I feel like
speculation.
his purpose is just that.
um
Because
but
the
like
he's
considering
going to
he's
so
a
because
merchant,
the coffee
first
he
of
told
all.
him to go there. And
Ah,
you have to do some train stuff.
mm, mm. But like considering that he's a merchant, first of all, which means that he is more concerned about the money than anything else. Secondly, is that he's
Yeah,
doing like because he's a merchant, right? So you would think that he would do stuff for a price. But then he says that he's
yeah,
bringing around this coffin and he's going to a destination that he doesn't want to tell people where he's going. But he said that it's to honor the request of his friend who's inside the coffin, right? That already seems really suspicious, right? And the fact that he's doing it to honor his friend's last wish, not for coin,
yeah.
despite him being a merchant, either he's lying about being a merchant or he's lying about the friend's request, and it's not actually his friend inside it. Which I think the second option is a bit more possible.
Actually, I think
But
our
who
second
knows?
option
Maybe
is
maybe he's
more
lying.
sense, makes
Maybe he's
sense because if I'm a church, right, you should know because you, you should know where you want to go for some train to especially those inside the coffee to get some money inside.
mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
that's
So
the problem is we don't
at the
know a
end of
lot about
Central
him, so I
story,
hope he's going to appear in
mm,
future.
yeah lah. So after Dan Heng meets up with us, we kind of lose Luota
Yeah.
at after after that, we don't really know what happens. He's probably just floating around on one of the central ships, anyways. So we'll have to
Yeah.
come back to him at some point, probably soon. Um,
Yeah.
so we deal with the cancer, we deal with the Celeron. Blade and Dunham get their reunion. We get Imbibitor Lune back. And then we move. So we finish up the Central Dofu story. So then after that, we move on to the next location. So I think if I remember correctly, they wanted to go to Amphorius next, but they needed to stop by
Yes.
for more Trailblaze power. I
Because
think that's what it is. It's the fuel. They needed more fuel. So they decided to stop
yeah,
by
they need fuel, but
Penacony.
I don't know how come it's still not enough.
Yeah. So now we talk about Penacony. So um Penacony gave us a lot when it comes to eons, it comes to emanators, the IPC, and kind of the ability, the power of the eons. And so Penacony was once a prison, which was then turned into a casino. Not just a casino, but like Resorts World, a bit like Sentosa, but like it's a whole planet, and basically you go into a dream, and in that dream you can do anything you want. You can eat as much as you want,
Yeah.
and you won't feel full. Oh, you feel full, but like you're not physically, you know. It's like you're
It's like you're
projecting
not really
into a
have
dream
physical
world.
body.
Yeah, yeah. Which is interesting in and of itself, right? That an Eon has the power to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so we meet, we meet Aventurine, we meet Acheron, and then we start to discover the truth of Penacony. And so we learn that the people who created Penacony as a paradise, to basically change it away from the IPC, were trailblazers, ex trailblazers. One of them being the person in charge, or the ex person in charge, who then creates
Yes.
the death thingy, the thing that Gallagher is, um, to basically have a way to bring people um, into the true Penacony. And so we realize that the Stellaron is in the theater where Sunday is organizing the Charmony Festival. Um, so we go and confront him, but not before we fight Aventurine, and then a bunch of stuff happens with Aventurine. Acheron releases 1% of her power, stops time, and then does the big slash that cuts the curtain in half. Both figuratively and literally, like showing the true, Penacony behind the kind of the curtain, right? Slicing the
Yeah.
curtain in half, so you see the truth behind Penacony. And we meet Jade as well. We get more IPC stuff. We also meet Sparkle, who is another of the masked fools who is familiar with Sampo. And also we meet Boot Hill, who is looking for IPC. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any thoughts, any theories for Penacony?
Uh, Actually, I have some theory for
Mm-hmm.
Belladonna because when I go to that hour, they just said it was formerly in the prison to become what this is now, but there are some questions to remain. Why the bus, not really bus, why the NR actually did control instead of harmony doing the
Mm.
Belladonna, where the Sunday happy the iron of the order instead of the
Mm-hmm.
harmony.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like in a kind of twisted way, like the order, as in like they wanted everyone to be like they didn't want to have the hierarchy of rich and poor, powerful and weak. They want
But that's
everyone to be the
the
same,
level of hierarchy.
right? Because the order, like, kind of
Because
because
you
like you
have
can take
a
like
family
you can take
there.
uh a path both in a virtuous way and in an evil way. So
Yeah.
like like virtuous, like for example, preservation, right? You preserve history,
Mm.
right, to teach others so in the future they don't make the same mistake. But you can also take preservation in an evil way. I wouldn't call the IPC evil, but like they do it for malicious reasons. They say it's to preserve the universe, right? But really they just want to preserve their own money, right? It's all about money for IPC. A lot of them is all about money. It's all about expanding their wealth.
RPC
So it's
is
like that
that
kind of
they want
evil
to.
way.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah. So in Penacony we also see the ability or like the result of what happens when an eon's path is too similar to another eon's path. We saw that Anna eventually merged into Zibe because order is pretty much um, a version
Mm.
of harmony, right? Harmony in the sense that harmonious order, so everything is the same, right? So harmony in
Yeah,
that sense. So
everybody is
Anna
they need to
got
make it
absorbed
tonight.
into Zibe.
Mm. But if you speaking of, if you have a many right, but
Mm,
by the order can not be absorbed by. This one is just that, and I actually got absorbed by GB to become now up any of Bellatrix.
mm.
Yeah, that's just says that I have to pop in one for especially Sunday have actually for to pop.
Uh-huh. I feel like I feel like do we have any true, like, okay, because the thing is like half of
What?
the paths in HSR don't make sense to the character, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like, do we have any true path striders of harmony? I guess it'd be
If
Robin and
you speaking
Sunday. Like those are the
of
only
Robin,
two,
you put me
right?
Robin.
And I guess Trailblazer, because
Because
Trailblazer was during when
this
we were fighting against Sunday, we were
yeah,
also
he's the
gazed upon by Zipe.
TP, yes.
Yeah. But like Ting Yun,
But
she's not harmony, right? Like it doesn't make sense
no.
that in law she's not harmony. She would be Han because she follows the 贤座, so she would be Han. But I guess like yeah lah, they like Hanya, right? Why is she harmony of all things, right? But like I
This is
think
a quick question. Why the
I guess
harmony is
the
not
only true
very
path striders of
certain
harmony
traits? So
is Robin and Sunday, I think.
yeah.
And then we don't have any emanators of harmony. Although having said that,
Why
if
don't think
harmony is
there's
all about
one?
everyone is the same, you can't have people who are stronger in harmony. Everyone will all be the same. So there wouldn't be emanators of harmony. I don't know. Maybe that's
First, yeah,
being too
put
strict
me
on the idea of harmony.
emanator about harmony, but it's just that harmony is that many like everything is tonight like normally tonight is like it's achieved in balance. So it's put me like melody like right and wrong and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
It's like if elation was a playable path, Sparkle would be
Yeah.
elation, but for some reason she's Harmony, even though like literally the whole motto of elation is that there is no such thing as harmony. There is
Yeah.
only chaos. There is only creating as much like mess, like making as much fun as possible. Doesn't
It's
matter what you do,
you
as
need
long as
to
you have
have
fun.
yeah. This is part of our money stuff.
Mm-mm-mm. It's why
We
elation
do
is my
have a
favorite path,
harmony.
I guess.
Yeah, the path is what,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So I put in two characters that is pretty interesting.
Mm.
So Dr. Edward, who seems to it is the one where we go to investigate dream bubbles. And we have an
Yeah.
event tied to Dr. Edward, and he's also important in learning in the story as well when learning about the past of Penacony because we explore Misha's dream bubble as well as Acheron's. And so we learn more
Mm.
about Penacony through that. But it is interesting that I didn't put it down here, but we also have Black Swan, who is a
That's right.
memo
Yes.
keeper from the Garden of Recollection. And
Mm.
she mentioned that Penacony has a abundance of memoria, which is kind of a substance that kind of is on the border of the
Mm.
Honkai Star Rail universe, and it's like the collective memory energy of all creatures, and it's highly toxic in a sense, quote unquote toxic. It can make you ill because it's just so much emotion in one concentrated solution. And I also mentioned Dr. Primitive because he's also a Genius member, a Genius Society member, and he's responsible
Yeah.
for various war crimes. And in
Yeah.
Rappa's
Especially
story, she
Mikey.
was hunting down Dr. Primitive. Like genuinely, I think other than the mass
It's
fools,
very
I think Genius Society members are still
interesting.
very interesting because they're so different. There's so many things that they are responsible for, like Rupert, there's Herta, there's Runmei, there's Ratio. Ratio is Intelligentsia Guild, but is connected to the Genius Society. And then there's like Dr. Primitive, and a bunch of others. And I'm like, we should really kind of we should be told more about Genius Society because there's a lot of things they can do with Genius Society. So hopefully at some point we get more Genius Society members discussed and we learn more
Yeah,
about
we
the kind
get
of
that
shenanigans
more
that
in
they
future.
get up
I
to.
hope they can keep us more stuff.
Mm,
But speaking of those doctor, I thought it's
mm,
very highly more interesting because yeah, dream bubbles is like the memory things might not
mm, mm,
fully 100% memory, but it's the half the experience that put into like memory for us to experience
mm,
and
mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
still. So it's just how he developed those memory bubbles. But
Mm.
the pyramid makes Maggie he's so much her.
Monkey.
I still
Monkey.
remember the Maggie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The bananas and all
The
that. Yeah.
Maggie.
Yeah. Okay, I also forgot to put it here, but we also learn more about the Trailblazers' history with the Stellaron Hunters. Because
No,
Firefly is
just
there,
me.
and we
Oh
learn
yeah,
more about our
blood.
connection with them. Yeah. And I think that's like one of the through lines, what kind of the plot threads that I think the story
Mm.
writers wants to continuously remind us is that
The
we
six.
started this
The
adventure
one I
because
really
we wanted
expect
to know
the
more about our past because we don't remember any of it.
yeah.
It's like all we remember is that Kafka was there, and that Firefly remembers us from when we were part of the Stellar Run Hunters. That's all we remember, and
Yeah.
nothing much else. Yeah.
I think they got to explain more in picture as well. Okay, yes. Nothing much else. Because the iconic skills.
Uh,
Yes.
okay, so Penacony, the story is like dream within a dream. Like they
You train but not
we
train.
fight against we fight against
Oh
Aventurine.
yeah, wait, I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
Melatonin is the train wearing train. Not wearing first and not when and when we reached the Melatonin, we actually went to not so called train, but we don't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Butterfly is but we
So,
those dream that we experience wise, but that doesn't happen in another train. But whole train we are training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like Penacony has been like it's the okay lah. Excluding Amphorius, I feel like Penacony is fairly simple in its story. It's like this person is doing a bad thing, we have to stop that person. Turns out that person is doing it not for an evil purpose, but for what he thinks is the right thing, the kind of thing, you know. So we fight against Aventurine. Acheron destroys the barrier between the dream's dream and the dream on the outside. We fight against death, quote unquote death, which is the sunset. What's it called? The what I forgot what's it called. What's the boss called?
It's for
where is it? Memory zone. Oh yes, the memory zone meme. Where is it?
memory.
Yeah, the meme. Where is it? Is it not here? It's not.
The snake man.
Wait, why is it not put here?
Something under that. You see?
Yeah. Yes. That one. Yes.
Yeah, it's under memory.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I forgot
something
the name of that.
Under that, you see?
Yeah, something unto death. Yes. You're right. So yeah, like, we fight that. And then we get transported to the real Penacony. Where the what's the name of the trailblazer that built Penacony? The watchmaker. What's his name? Where is it?
Memory, she says we are.
Not character. Factions?
Dream
I don't remember.
Dream grief.
Yeah, so there's that, and then you pass it off to Misha, and then Misha becomes the new keeper of Penacony. The watchmaker. Yeah. So the watchmaker was a previous. The watchmaker was an ex-trailblazer, but he decided to stay on Penacony to ensure that its people were free. But then the harmony thing happened, and then we came blah blah all that. So like we free Penacony so people can continue to live in the dream, but not under the oppression of the harmony. Sunday gets punished, but then he is freed with a deal with Jade. And then Robin stays on Penacony to help others through the kind of transition away from the harmony. We also get to meet King Yun's revived form. We get to meet Fugue in Penacony, which is so strange, but kind of makes sense in retrospect. We also learned that it was Runmei who kept a piece or managed to harvest her soul or something, and then constructed a new body for her. So
This-
pretty much, Runmei is capable of making life. So if she
This-
wasn't
That's
harmony,
disappointed that she is like it's just the how's about the
uh,
genius soul
like if
and
she wasn't
have a stony
harmony, she will
body.
be abundance instead. Because creating life out of nothing.
Yeah.
And like it's like that's crazy. But then again, she's also interested in turning herself into an Eon, so she's a mad
This is
scientist.
sad.
You can't really do much. Um,
But
yes,
you know,
Rome.
the mission is the Belmont champion, right?
Mm,
So, mission is the reason how to become because they're big pepperoni, right? They kind of this experience something that they want to make free. Then it's three of them. They just do that to train instead of continuing with the journey. That makes that normal level extra express. So that become what is it today?
mm.
But I feel like Misha is really one of the main key person to make it Paragon what is it to
Yeah. So, it is through Fugue and her run-in with Ranmei in not in Penacony, but
yeah,
like meeting Fugue and then learning about what happened between her kidnapping or her abduction by Fantilia when Fantilia replaced Ting
yeah,
Yun on Xianzhuo, to then meeting her as Fugue in Penacony, that we learn about Runmei and that she was able to recreate not only a body for Ting Yun, but a stronger body,
mm,
one that was more attuned to her sense of
yes.
personality, which is really interesting. Um,
That's why I was just saying
but it
that Yoko actually asked us question how she's behaved when we meet her at
mm,
the
mm.
danger tofu.
Oh, I don't have Fugue, so I can't really read her character story. But
Same.
um, it does prove that Runmei is very close to creating life that can be close to what can be considered an Eon. It's not quite there yet,
See,
obviously, but like it's close.
Roman, you put me the emulator of the Eminence, but somehow she's not chosen for that.
Mm.
But she was us really high level. I feel like I don't have enemy.
Mm. If you want, you can get Runmei for free right now.
Nah. I'm not.
I'm so sad, man. I spent so much time saving up tickets to pull for Runmei when she reran, and then now they're just giving it for free. I am.
Oh
eh,
no.
I don't know, man. That's sad.
You can
Um.
eat something here as well.
Mm, mm. Okay, so let's see. So that was Penacony. We learned more about
Yeah.
Eons, emanators, because we learned a lot about emanators through our encounter with Acheron. Um,
Yeah.
then we learned more about the IPC as well, because we had that whole cutscene on the 10 Stone Hearts voting whether or not to keep
Yes.
adventuring in.
Guys
We
don't
meet,
hurt.
yeah, we meet a lot of the silhouettes of all of what the other IPC
Somebody
Stone Heart
cares
look
about
like.
the diamond as well. The
Yeah.
diamond is the 8 of the stone.
Mm. Do you think Diamond is Pepeshi? Like those small people on Penacony, the one with the ball
I
on their
don't
head.
think so.
Really?
If
He's
that
just a
is
baby.
the BBC, he could mean I had the ball right.
But like,
Did it appear
he's so
Diamond is
like
that
he's like a
having
baby
some
though.
sort of because that has to
Oh,
me like sound like in your way.
wait, you might be right.
For me
Actually,
because
yeah, because he's
this
them
is possible
because
that Diamond
he
is a
follows
TV
preservation, right?
but
He's preserved at a young age, but his mind continues
yeah.
growing. I think you might be right. Actually, that's a very good idea. That's very
But I don't know
okay.
what if you right.
I mean, they all seem to have their own way of like preserving themselves. Like,
Yeah.
is it Obsidian?
That
Obsidian is the vampire
preservation
who drinks blood to keep young,
wait. Yeah. It's a
right?
vampire.
That's like preservation in a
I think
sense.
it's kind of yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the Intellitron. You know, there is Opal, not confirmed, but
Yes.
based on a line from Screwlum and the image that we got in the trailer in the cutscene, we suspect that Opal
Yeah.
is an Intellitron.
Yeah, same. I also suspect it's the out as well.
Mm-mm-mm. It has to be. That's the only explanation, right? Because
Because
Screwlum himself,
if you show
he would
up,
know what
right,
an
if you
Intellitron would be. He says that one of the IPC Stone Hearts had a golden head, so that's from Screwlum. And then we see the Intellitron golden head when it
yeah.
cuts to Opal casting her vote for Aventurine. So it's pretty much like confirmed lah that Opal is the Intellitron of the group, which
Yeah.
in and of itself is also kind of
But
preservation in itself
more
because
interesting.
Intellitrons can't grow old. They don't age because they're robots. So
Yeah.
yeah, so okay lah. So that's pretty much all of Penacony. So now we come to
Yeah.
uh the most recent one. So now we're on Amphorius. So
Now it's
um
Ambrose.
so uh Black Swan was the one who actually revealed Amphorius and its true location to us in the vacuum of space. And she says that she can
Yeah.
sense 3 eons surrounding, like having its influence on Amphorius. I think the two that were like, semi-confirmed is what's the two that was semi-confirmed on
And true
Amphorius?
one.
Where's
You know
Amphorius?
what? One is the Actor Trust and Ambrose.
Uh,
Memoirs. And Andrews. Andrew teacher.
Oh
Yeah.
Eric, yeah. Okay. I think okay. My theory is that it's finality.
But since I
The
already
third one.
been
I feel like
to,
it's
but I would
finality.
say it's more.
Mm, the reason why I say it's finality because it's like okay, not just the idea of the Chrysos heirs being like reborn and stuff, and like the whole story of Amphorius, because it seems like let me go to the map, because Amphorius is drawn in an infinity symbol. So I'm under the impression that there is kind of the idea of finality where it's like or like finality is having its influence in the sense that it's like not letting it come to its finality, that it's trying to keep time looping around and around uh, until the desired outcome is achieved. And not only that, but you also have many instances of past and present and future being intimately linked together. You can travel to the past, influence the past, and then the future is also influenced as well. Like a lot of the puzzles, you do stuff in the past and present, you keep flipping back and forth. So it's almost like finality is not letting it come to its conclusion. It doesn't want it to finish. right? So it's like it's using its power to stop the finality, so to make a time loop to keep going and going and going until it's it's
I
happy with the
mean,
result, and then it will end. And how destruction? I don't know. But that's what it seems like. Me personally, but definitely. Do you think it's fully as well the remembrance? Is it the
no,
remembrance? No. Okay. But then
because I'm
why would
just actually
March
before
7th be
I actually
frozen then?
read the two best people to write the story right. But I actually suspect is the distractions because the
Uh
distraction
huh.
is the ability because you let the bad guy it means it's shown everything in a way right before it
Mm-hmm.
there is that because of embarrass to become memories actually have to do with the memory stuff. Especially our pub is the memory related. And the intuition is the where the end come to inside. But since you haven't haven't experienced the story, not this one, I could say that your theory is practically wrong.
Mm.
Plus,
I don't know.
I don't want to spoil you too much, but but when you come to MS, it's not what you higher. Stay. I mean, it's half right. I could say because it's not just the NLE. Plus,
Uh,
there's the mirrors is that because you do remember those past and future stuff, especially past and future when it's the like it's so much what you I always draw those the weapon stuff and I think that actually the pathway as well. But, but I also suspect that it was validity, but it's not really validity because of if it's validity, though I mean no if it looks. You know what I mean?
uh,
Because if
uh,
it doesn't mean it will end because it's will may not being true out. But I
I don't know. I think
suspect
it's like because everything comes to an end. So by
you
putting its
will have to
influence on
end, but
Amphorius, it's like or maybe it's like because the thing is we don't know if the three eons are working together or working against each other or like how they're like interacting. So it could be, you know, the influence of finality
mm,
is kind of changed in some way, where the three eons are fighting over control. I don't know. Because it's not really
we
explicit and
don't know
we may
what
not
they're
know.
fighting.
Yeah, so
We don't know
it's like
what they are actually fighting each other.
yeah, it's like they're at
But it
odds with each other,
sounds
they're in
it
conflict.
sounds
So because of that, right,
it
the
sounds we are
finality
like
can't really
starting.
exert its will onto Amphoris, so it will never end until something changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another theory I had was that Elio is a
Mm,
slave to destiny. That's his name. That's his like title.
yeah.
But I think it's because finality is the eon he's
That's
serving.
this way. Yeah.
Yeah. How else would he know the scripts of the future? How else would he know what happens in the future? There's only two people who can do that, and that is, well, yeah, like, it's really only finality because finality is an eon who begins at the end of time and then works backwards. He starts at the end and comes to the beginning, which is opposite to the flow of time. So the
Mm-hmm.
only Eon who could tell Elio the future and be correct about it is someone who is from the future, which from what we know, finality seems to be that Eon. So I think that's pretty much. It's not confirmed, obviously, but like that seems to be like the most likely
Yeah.
explanation. Also, oh yeah, there is no. Oh yeah, Terminus is not here. Terminus is only described in
I mean,
the
that's not here.
where's
It's
Terminus?
just fit.
Forgot where Terminus is. Yeah, let me pull up Terminus's
Okay. Actually, speaking of the ability, right?
hmm,
Ability is something that actually what kind of against the bill is because you are, you know, that and you are traveling back to do the ability to order to set up prevent towards that and that's why we got a strict essence. That makes sense, right?
yeah, so profile. So the Creed Exeki
Yeah.
is one of the factions of finality, and
Mm.
you know it says on the what my brain is not working. In the simulated universe, they talk about finality and that it's at the end of time, but it started at the end of time and then works backwards towards the start of time.
Yeah.
So yeah lah.
So we need to. That's why we can like know what is happening towards the end and how we sense
Yeah.
that they are from the picture.
Uh, where is the discussion?
Um,
Uh,
the trip back of the trip yeah. Because the since she haven't fully been able to direct the story, I understand that you
hmm.
may particularly wrong because I attribute to that they actually reveal that what are the pop in the emboss actually.
Also, I found I found the line from Jade confirming that
Mm,
the Stellarons are following the path of finality. It's from
yes.
a side
Cause
quest.
it's
It's from a minor
defensive.
quest. There may be some people who never like find this line at all. Oh my goodness.
I'm so
Okay, it's
sorry.
part of the Trailblaze mission, but a lot of people would just skip through it and they won't even see it.
Yeah.
Um,
She's just like I think most people actually spin one they don't really see throughout the stories.
hmm. Also, let me see. Oh, okay. Is this 3.2? The quest.
Yeah.
What's the name of this? What's the name of this quest? Night Vale, Shroud the Silent Pass.
Wait, I don't remember if I'm seeing.
Is that after this? Hold on. Oh, M4S.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's after this. Yeah. Uh,
Um.
Before that is Wasteland. After that is Kremnos. Yeah, so I haven't gotten to this part of the story yet, but yeah,
Yeah.
so Kafka also mentions finality.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Kafka mentions
actually
finality.
for the
Okay, okay,
ability.
okay. Yeah lah. So it's pretty much confirmed lah that Elio is a slave to destiny, as in the so they travel on the path of finality, which is interesting because
Yeah.
like the Creed Exeki says here that they walk opposite in the direction of those trying to flee from the apocalypse. It's like
Mm.
they're coming to meet their end. So like the Stellarons are doing the same. I don't know. Where's
Yeah.
Stellaron? Yep.
Um. in my opinion, right, the part right there about this very it's not exactly fully explained is that everything comes to the end at some point, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yes. So it's actually like following the path of reality in a way. But it's just like manual path for most of us.
Mm. So, in your opinion,
Okay, so
where do you think the story of Amphorius is
yeah.
gonna go? Or how do you think it's going to, like, do you have any theories as to how they are gonna conclude the story, or any
The story
reveals that
wise,
you think might be
since
significant?
I ran to the pet 3.2, I already know what is the path is, and I know
Mm-hmm.
what is the band is. Because
Okay.
I think the main character is in this story is the buyer, which
Uh-huh.
I'm not bad who died. But I forgot
Okay.
what it's supposed to be called. The bad
Uh-huh.
guy, the bad who died, right? I don't know
Uh-huh.
what's his name. He's first with the baron, the main because
Mm-hmm.
the the way he died is like almost giving me the vibes of having of contact the yeah
Mm.
yeah
Okay.
having
Okay. Okay.
but this but it's just sense I feel like they're going to kind of it's that whole embarrass in some way.
Man, I think I just need to finish 3.1 and then do 3.2, because like I feel like I
Yeah,
have very little like knowledge. I feel
you got to
3.0 was just like, I mean, it's like introducing you to like the
yeah.
planet and like what's
That's
the
why I need to catch
issues
up.
and some of the main characters. It was like, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I think the time loop theory. I keep going back to time loops. I just love time loops, but like
Yeah, I
it
also
almost feels like
thinking
the
like
black
the
tide
title
is
is
like the
that
hard
the whole
reset.
umbrella inside of download. But maybe if it would
Mm,
stop the download things.
right. Like the core flames and like the Chrysos airs, the Titans. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, do you think the Titans are like anything special?
Yes, inside they are special in a way.
But
Because
like
yeah,
they
the
are definitely less.
first is
They're
what
strong
we
because
have
they're
to
like
do
stronger than
get the
humans.
coffin for from the deadline.
Would they be
What we need
considered?
to take
Would they be
coffin
considered
from
emanators?
deadline. That is why.
Because they obviously, the Titans aren't eons. So are they Pathstriders, Emanators? Are they like,
It's,
because like there's 12 of them.
yeah.
Um
I feel like
there's
that
12 of
design is
them,
the emulator of the whatever is the
because like I can see like Thanatos, which is the god of death, possibly being an emanator
yeah
of destruction, because it's all about destroying life or like killing, like destruction, right? Death is destruction.
mm,
um but like,
there is most likely the path of discussions as an equal how many is the discussion but like first of all I feel like she's more variety as well
why?
but I do as well
Okay.
but Well, because if you become did that right, it says we did that called being from did that to some trials. It says you are becoming amateur of the captain part amateur part in this embarrass.
Uh-huh.
So
I don't know, I just feel like they didn't really like describe it that well, where it's like the Titans are stronger than
I think
humans.
they explain a bit in part 3.2 as well.
Mm-mm.
So
But it's like they are, but if the people of Amphorius don't know that the outside universe exists, that means there is no one in Amphorius, excluding the Titans. Let's just say the Titans are not involved. But there's no one on Amphorius, the different cities, that are path striders of any of the paths in the wider universe. Because obviously, if they don't know that there is a universe beyond the sky, they don't know about paths, so they wouldn't follow paths. But the Titans do know, because Aquila stops people from leaving Amphorius.
Yes,
Because Aquila knows that there is a universe out there. So do all the Titans know that there is a universe out there and that there's
anyone actually try to
eons?
lead the umbrellas people they kind of because of whatever reason. Because there is some what you call artifact in the umbrellas. Because that they say some people actually try to lead, but for some reason they got unalike due to the umbrella to prevent them to lead the just die.
Yes.
So it's not they know but they can't do anything. Because
But that's just because of Aquila. It's just a fact of their it's just a fact of their existence. So everyone who has tried to leave has been shot down by Aquila and died.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay, so you wrote here about the Stellaron Hunters. So the script part, I think it's because of finality. They like finality has seen the end of the universe. So it's like they're trying to fulfill that destiny. But it's like they need stuff in the present to go as planned, to lead to finality's design. Like they know what's gonna happen. But it's like because there's free will, quote unquote free will, right? It's like people will make choices, so it can change. It's just like how Fushen doesn't force people to make their own choices, but she foresees what may happen or what could happen. And then from there she makes that decision, and then she tries her best to do things that will result in the best outcome. Because she's seen all the outcomes, Like that's why Kafka wasn't afraid to be interrogated by Fushen, because she knows what's going to happen. She's already read the script about what happens on Central. So that's why she invites Fushen to come and read her mind. Because once Fushen reads her mind, realizing that she's telling the truth, she will obviously do things in a way that results in such an to result in the ending that Elio has predicted. Or has foreseen, not really predicted. Has foreseen. And obviously, being fighting for a future that no one else would believe you if you said that this is gonna happen. And
That's it's something that the hero actually foresee or know what is going to happen. Rather we need to really so-called straight that they about it. But even though you commit different things, especially the only the by says she have to die 3 times. It's just like so it's not
okay,
really
now I don't know.
But well, we have to get the
That was a
strip
bit weird.
for Sarah in order to reach the end of so-called story.
Mm-mm-mm. Also, like you put in there criminals, but like it makes sense, right? Because if you're going
Yeah,
to do
but the
something,
famous.
especially against the IPC, right? If you're gonna do something that
Wait,
is
let me tell you why I put Kimo. He's not really that Kimo, that is not that. That's just because of shadow I can't die. We are going to against the everyone. Why they use shadow up for some reason like you said that Kimo's but that they start from is that because they want to chaos is shown the shadow for vibration it could be it could like you saw to reach the ability is
mm-mm.
there.
I mean, it's like they have to do things that people cannot foresee, right? Because they have the script, other people don't.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the stuff they do, uh, especially hunting the Stellarons, a big thing, right? They're hunting the
Mm,
Stellarons because they need to lead the universe to a certain end that has been foreseen by Elio, uh, which is given by Terminus. Um, it means
yeah.
that a lot of what they do is illegal, just in general.
So
Yeah,
what
so
they come that is they are it says they also criminal because they have criminal in their own. Well, here's the bed have a crime. But they
mm-mm.
says now yeah, those come in that they used to have their own before they saw several hunter. You have to assist the hero to reach the ability, the yeah.
Also, it's just
There
like
is a sister.
at the same time, the IPC being founded under the guidance of Clifoff, the preservation,
Yeah.
like
She says that
them hunting the Stellarons
IPC and the
goes,
Shadow are like opposite.
yeah, like them hunting the Stellarons goes against like all the disruption and like the destruction and whatnot. It goes against what Clifoff has always like
I thought,
been
yeah.
wanting to do, which is to keep everything together. So obviously they will make them criminals.
Why did you become criminal because of IPC?
Yeah, exactly. It's because and plus the IPC has arrest warrants for them, what dead or alive. You know what I mean? Because it's like if they keep doing this, if they keep hunting Stellarons, creating a lot of chaos everywhere, it will eventually
yeah.
lead to destabilization, which is not preservation. So obviously preservation will want to do their best to keep everything together, to preserve the
Mm.
universe, rather than letting it die, which is probably what finality has foreseen, is that the universe will die at some point. So it's like we have to fight back
We have
against
to achieve that.
the
We need to
preservation.
preserve. But
Okay, so is this the last? Okay, so second last slide lah. So
it's like
um
okay.
Galaxy Rangers, why hunting monkey? I think it's
How do
just
I
the
that
fact
is
that he has
why they
committed
need to us
many
why
atrocities
not
against.
just the monkeys. They have but the Casey Ranger is not much information about that. As I mean not that but April Kill is from Casey Ranger. Well, what?
Mm-hmm.
They actually have follow the path of the heart.
Yes.
But so what they are actually is not just a monkey. Why they keep actually kind of specifically focus on the counter person, especially the monkey, the monkey.
Well, I mean, the monkey one is Rappa.
Yeah,
Because they have personal
Tokyo.
history.
It's just that the people also have to do with the Tokyo, so
Mm. But
besides because
it's
he's
also
the
been
one made
confirmed
he
by
capable.
Boothill that there is not many Galaxy Rangers left in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of them
Well,
have.
how they become Casey Ranger, that is one thing.
Mm, yeah, because a lot of them
Why
have
does
either
just
died
hard
or
is
retired.
someone?
Mostly died.
Yeah.
Oh, are we gonna get the resurrection of Vidrilla? That's a very good question. Um, Probably not.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe not.
yeah, I think it's like a lost cause at this point. I mean, okay, I say lost cause, but like the Knights of Beauty are still very much active and they're still quite big. It's quite a big
Yeah,
group. Not
not
as big as like
ability is.
other
But
factions,
the
but
thing
like
is,
there's a
the
good number of them.
is why they need to put the beauty when this one is especially dead.
I mean,
You told me I.
Argenti was like legit flexing his powers. Like we expected it to be like well, like we did not expect Argenti to be the one to save Aventurine
Yeah.
in the void space in the
How
nihility
sad.
thing.
How he did
Uh,
that.
and I'm like, how does being a Knight of Beauty allow you to pop into a realm like that, save somebody, and then come out? You know what I
That is
mean?
my question.
Yeah,
How
because
when
like
it did
how is
do
beauty
something like
related?
not a beauty
How does that
can.
help? Where does that power come from? You know what I mean?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Maskful agenda. Do they have an agenda?
How sad is something suspect they had the other how they can give out the risk to eventually that cannot be exercised by anyone by except natural. So it's fine. How's that when as this had that thing right outside? How you that there even though you are not like no man near there only this makes
Mm.
sense. I have to somehow we go to bed only for whatever reason and happen to meet there at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They have already something interesting like how they allow them to go to other range where that we
Mm.
cannot normally access.
Mm. Mm. Narrator. Do you think it's the Stellaron?
Mm.
Narrator.
Um,
I think it might be the
not
Stellaron, man.
you can,
I mean,
he thinks
okay
not
lah.
but
Outside of the game, but in story, right? It's like who else would that narrator voice be?
he could,
I don't know. Maybe just it's kind of hard to say. I mean, maybe it's Elio. Elio blah. Maybe it's Terminus. Maybe it's Finality. Maybe
can't commit
being an
anything.
ex
But my
Celeron
question
hunter
is,
and following
because
because we followed a script as well. Maybe
yeah,
we have been
but
influenced by Terminus in such a way where he can speak to us as well, and that's how he can speak about that's how he can narrate
he
stuff
said
that
he
people are
was
saying.
even question our stuff.
I don't know. That's a very strange question. Narrator. I never really thought of like narrator. I thought it was like it's just a game thing. Does it need to
No,
have an in-game
that commit
explanation?
something that we never question already. It's
Yeah.
not only
Like,
something.
do I really think
Whenever
about
we do
narrator?
something
No, not
questionable,
really.
now they will ask us the question.
Yeah.
Why we have to do this? Or is it very good choice or something?
Mm. Okay lah. So we just
So I
wrap up.
need to know.
We just wrap up here lah.
Yeah.
The Fate collab. I think.
Yes,
I think. Um, the Fate collab is only one patch, if I remember correctly.
yes, it's
Um,
only be one patch, but how are you going to die into Honda Star Universe?
it's going to be a tear in the universe, and then there's gonna be a bleed through because Fate is its own universe, with its own timeline, with its own story. The thing is, it will make more sense if HSR collab with Fate rather than Fate collab with HSR because Fate not very often does collabs with other stuff, and more often than not, they will do collabs with their own IP rather than external IP. So when I heard that Fate Stay Night was having a collab with HSR, I was like, what's the story gonna be? land in the Fate
Yeah.
universe. Like the Earth is like the like the
Unless
Fate
there's
universe.
ethical travel through the fate worlds, they have somehow meet those fate characters for some moment before we grow up. But the thing is, the fate character is gonna meet type of defense. It's like one past defense. Where we just like when we meet already for one pass.
But like, what we gonna do? Are we participating in the Holy Grail War? Are we are we gonna
Are
use
we going to
Dunhun
fight
like a servant, like a Pokemon? Like it feels weird because like Fate and HSR is a very the stories are just
Yeah,
very
actually, how I
different.
get going to bring this character, this
I'm
story,
very
this
curious,
anime is just
and
the.
the more I think about
What
it,
do
the
you
more I
think
realize
about
that it's
it?
only
What is
like
your expectation for big characters?
I just want I wish okay lah. I don't really like to talk about leaks on the channel, especially when I talk about
Ah,
HSR. But like, knowing knowing who is coming on the banner, kind of has me worried that we are not gonna
why?
get much story.
That's
Like
true.
it's gonna be quite simple. I feel like, um,
Probably that like
uh,
short story
'cause-
about them or
okay. But the
something.
thing is, Fate a uh does have a parallel universe called the Servant Verse.
Yes.
And I wonder if the planet we go to is the Servant Verse.
You put me, we never know. We will see how it goes. Not
Because
they think
it
us.
can't be Earth. Because like Fate happens on Earth. So if HSR, if the train were to take us to the HSR collab, the Fate collab, it wouldn't take us to Earth. It would take us to another planet
I
that
think you will
has
not bring
Fate
the
happening.
because the Earth have nothing except we need to summon the for Holy Grail. Well,
Yeah. Or is like, or do they replace the 7 servants in Fate with 7 characters for HSR? It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
I
it's
feel like
so yeah.
FGO. I feel like FGO would have been better, but FSN is fine.
Mm,
It's a smaller IP. Like it's not many characters. Story is pretty
yeah.
simple, but like I just don't
But
see
yeah,
how they are going to combine these 2 stories together and make it an event story. Like it's weird.
yeah.
I am confused.
You'll
Um,
see how
very
they're
odd,
going to bring
very
the
very odd.
story out. But I think we will see how the collapse actually going to happen
Yeah,
in
I mean,
story.
it's gonna be nice regardless because Fate
Yeah.
is one of my favorite anime series. So obviously, when I saw that they were doing a collab with HSR, I was very excited. But yeah, like I said, I have no idea how they're going to integrate the story together. It seems like but they have. I mean, for them to do it, they had to have an idea, and they had to confirm
I
it
think
with
they might have
Takeuchi.
the idea, but it's going to take time for the patch to come out. I think which patch they will come out, I don't remember.
4.5, I think,
You see?
because it's Q3. We're currently at 4.2. We're coming to the end of 4.2. 4.3
Yeah.
is 6 weeks, and then 6. Yeah. So it's around like I think August. I think will be the
It's
collab.
pretty
So it'll be like
sometimes, so
4.5. Yeah, it's either
you
4.5
will
or
make the
4.6.
umbrellas. It will be at somewhere in between umbrellas or something.
Mm, mm.
So
Yeah,
we'll
I think
see
it'll
how
be
it goes.
oh.
But for
Mm.
particular show, it's done. wants the blame for Chelsea for story because
Listen,
Chelsea is
he
correct
said,
that there's
Sachi
someone
has said on
dying in the
various live
story.
streams that this
Because
is the story.
Chelsea
This is a big one, and I'm like, I don't know,
You
man.
said-
You said that about Genshin, and it wasn't that. I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah, you know that apparently the Chelsea mentioned that it's going to be sort of happy one. It's sort of that is there. I think Ambrose is also similar in a way.
Mm.
You know, Chelsea Bear is something we cannot predict, but we can expect what is to come.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we just have to wait and see. I mean, the more we guess, it's not going to be any it's not gonna help. It's just like you're just thinking about what's gonna happen, and it's like if it doesn't happen the way you want it to, it's like, well,
It's not
I guess I'm wrong.
expected.
Yeah, it won't have the same impact.
But
Honda
if
impact.
it does right, it will happen to me, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Just see what is been.
Yes. So yeah lah. I mean, we had some interesting discussion. Definitely. Regarding HSR. So I think we end here lah. I think because we come to the end already. So thank you very much.
We are rich hand, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you
Thanks.
very much. For joining me in yapping about HSR and
Thank
discussing.
you
It was
also.
nice to hear someone else's opinion, so it didn't seem like I was shouting into a wall and going crazy. And
I too.
we'll see
I'm
if your
yeah,
theories
that
are
we
correct.
can be able to discuss all my
Yeah.
theories and your
Yeah,
theories.
we'll see. We have to see if your theories are correct. I mean, they're most likely correct. You
My
said that
theories
3.2
always
confirmed a lot
right,
of things for
yeah.
you. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm very glad you do not know how irritated that makes me. Because a lot of the time I make theories and they're never correct. And so for you to say this, like,
No.
3.2 confirms a lot of my theories, I'm like, wow, shit, man. Like, am I just bad at making theories or am I just dumb? But
No, it's alright. It's approach
Yeah.
the theory is theory. It doesn't mean it has to be right
just
or
guessing,
wrong. But
It's just guessing. Yeah, so thank you very much once again.
yeah, thank you also about make it just cut actually.
Let me see. Okay, got people can rate. Yes, go and rate.
Yeah, good man.
Okay. Rate Kuro Kazuki. Okay. Yeah, I'll do my outro and I'll be right back.
I think this is all for today. So I think we can stop. About that bit about the what it was fun talking to DPs about the theory, but even surprised that my theory was but to confirm everything that I asked. What is it? So very bad to talk about this theory with someone, even though I'm like talking to myself, I don't know. So I'm very okay, so I will see you next film. Yeah.